Hello, I'm Robert here, and we've got gusts tomorrow up to 42 miles an hour, which is the lower end of gale force. So just show what I'm doing to strengthen up this shed. So first of all, I'm digging these little post holes, and you can see what I mean by how it being essentially a shingle bank. You can see it quite clearly there. And that beam there, actually when I lifted the weight off the roof on that side, that bit of wood just fell out, so it wasn't actually doing very much. And I've just put it back in as a proper strut. It's got a big nail up at this end, hammered right in. I'm going to add this bit of wood here, nailed to there and to there, to add an extra bit of strength vertically. There's that one you've seen already. That at the bottom, that is a 12-inch long, this here. So originally my plan was to hammer that along and push upwards on the A-frame to get extra tension, but it just wouldn't move at all. So it's clear that the A-frame is pretty firm in position, it's not going to move. So I just put, Matthew helped hammer that in, which couldn't go in very easily because of all these stones. And then I've put in a steel tent spike, just in the same position, which will help stop this from, means this can't move that way. So that's a very solid, that's holding up the apex of the A-frame. That long bit of wood there is holding up the apex of the A-frame. Then there's that bit that's going to be holding it up, that side of it. And then this bit of wood, I'm going to, because there's a gale coming, I'm going to nail it in on there, just to add a little bit of extra strength across that way. And I think that's essentially, and then just bedding in all these on the ground there. And I will just show you how I'm using the clothesline, why I use the clothesline. That is to, I'm going to bed this in to straighten this bit of the roof up. And as you can see, this is just temporary, this is not permanent. It's just where I put that bit of wood in, like that vertical plank in, which pushes up against that cable, which is just enough to lift the wall of the and as you can see, there's a clear gap all the way through. So that's taking the entire weight off the wall. It's just so that I can work on this and put in that strut as tight as possible, so it's nice and straight. And if you saw the earlier photographs, you'll see that the roof is much straighter on that side than it was before. And I think all that's just all going to help keep it a little bit more sturdy in the gales. And I just put an extra little bit of wood up here, which nails onto there. That is just to stop the A-frame from going back and forth towards me and away from me. So it's nailed into there, and a couple of nails in there. It's not, it's not going to get much. It's not meant to withstand much strength. It's just to stop the A-frame from moving very, very slightly back and forth this way to keep it stable, because the lathe got lifted up, and you can see there's a gap in between, and the nails that were nailing it down onto the A-frame have been lifted out of there, the bits that they were nailed into. So I needed an extra bit of support there to just stop the A-frame from moving sideways, back and forth in that direction on that side. And that essentially is what I'm doing. And so I won't be anywhere near this during the gales. If we do get gale force gusts, I'm not going to be coming in here for that time. So I'm preparing now. As you can see, it's completely calm. There's not even a slightest breeze at the moment, and so it's a very safe time. And I'm just going to bed in those things. And I think the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to nail in. It's nearly all done. I'm going to nail that in. I'm going to nail that in. And I'll just put little nails on the end of each of these. That is so that they won't come blowing out. And this is so that the wind is bound to move this a little bit like that, but it's just to reduce the play as much as possible. And so I think I'll put a little nail in there, and that's against the I don't know if I'll put a bit more there. I've got a hole there and a hole there, and then I can pile stones on top and tamp them down, bang them down with the mini sledge if I think that's necessary. And so that's what I plan to do, and hopefully that will help. And then this here, the closed line outside is not going to be doing anything in the gales. This is just, I'll tighten that up just a little bit more if it'll tighten anymore. Just slightly, I just do it like that, and just, let me just put it in the right place. That's just to, that is not supporting anything. That is just to put a little bit of extra security if it was to start leaning that way a little bit more, and just an extra thing to help withstand against the winds. That's all that's doing. It's not doing anything structural at the moment. So it's just extra stopgaps. So all of this is extra things. So there's lots and lots of supports. Essentially, the roof is held up by the A-frame, which you could go up there, down there, and that bit across there. That is the A-frame. Without that, the roof would fall down. And so all these other, and so there were these two bits of wood that were in already that were helping hold up the A-frame, and then I've added lots of extra supports to the A-frame, and I've also straightened out the roof on this side so that there's less weight on the A-frame, and there's and it's all much sturdier, and it's not going to be moving around in the wind in the same way as it would if I didn't do that. And so all that is basically to make do the very best I can to make sure it's not going to collapse down any further. The risk is of it coming down, not of it blowing up. I hope not of it blowing up in there. I hope you can see that. It's because it's got a heavy roof, and it's got loads and loads of supports, lots of extra supports that I've added. So I'm going to add another couple just now, that vertical one, and so that should hopefully that's everything I can see to do by way of keeping it firm and for strong winds to the best of my ability. And so that's what I'm doing. I think that's it.